Hello guys, it's me, Teacher Donna again. Now let's move on to the first topic about IELTS listening. It is in Unit 1, completing basic information. Alright, so the exam focus for this unit is Section 1 of IELTS listening. In this unit, you are going to learn about transcribing numbers and names, predicting missing information, and using synonyms. So, by the way, what is the meaning of the word transcribing? Alright, so when we transcribe, we actually take down notes. As we listen to something, we try to write it down. That is transcribing. Alright, so these are the learning objectives for this unit. Therefore, at the end of this unit, you should have acquired the following skills: introducing and developing strategies for note completion type task in IELTS listening, predicting the types of words for an answer, identifying synonymous words from the test paper and listening file, and writing numbers, dates, time, letters, etc. correctly. Let's get started. So, exam tip number 1. In listening section 1, you often have to write down details such as numbers and names. Now, if you remember our discussion and the introduction to IELTS listening, what do we have in section 1? It is actually a talk in a social context. It's a talk between two people, right? So that's why you'll have to take down notes such as these details: numbers, names, what else? Maybe address. Next, mistakes are often made when writing details such as names and numbers. Alright, so a lot of people make mistakes with this because sometimes in IELTS listening, they actually give out quite long numbers and long names. So you have to be careful when you listen to numbers and names. Alright, next, with numbers, think about what would be realistic in each gap because this will help you understand the number correctly. What do we mean by realistic? So you have the chance to actually read the question and the question paper. So while listening, you have to try to understand what could be the possible answer to put there. So if it's asking you, for example, age of the daughter, all right, you have to write the age of the daughter. Do not expect that you are supposed to write something like 3-digit number. Okay, so you have to write something realistic. Next, it is also a good idea to practice listening with longer numbers like telephone numbers. So you just have to try to listen to different numbers and then how to write it down because telephone numbers are quite long. In Oman, telephone numbers are 8 digits, right? But in other countries, it's much longer than that. Next tip. With names, candidates often misspell them because they confuse how each letter is said, particularly the vowels A, E, I, O, U. So it is actually a good idea to revisit how each letter of the English alphabet is pronounced. Alright, so when they are spelling out the letters of a name, you can write it down correctly. Next, make sure to read the instruction and the information carefully, right? Like in the introduction, I told you, you have to understand and read the instruction because if you don't follow what's written in the instruction, you might lose the mark. Next, find out if it requires you to write name or number or both. All right, you will find this in the instruction. So example, write two words and a number only. So it means you can write two words and one number. Okay? Or if it says write two words only. So it means the answer would be two words only, not one, not three, but only two words. So you have to make sure to read the instruction carefully. All right. Next, using synonyms. This one is very important, especially when it comes to IELTS listening. Be aware that synonyms and paraphrases are actually commonly used in IELTS listening. A common mistake is that students tend to make is to locate the same words that they see in the question paper when they listen to the recording. So sometimes they get lost while writing down the answers because they're trying to listen for a particular word that they see on the paper. But sometimes it's not happening. You will not see the exact words that you see on the paper because on the listening file, they actually use synonyms. So the synonym of the words that you see on the paper. That's why you have to increase your vocabulary to know the words which are synonymous in meaning. Because otherwise, if you don't know the synonyms of some words, then you are going to get lost in track while trying to answer the listening test. Okay, so I have here some practice exercises. I'm not going to click this now. You may download the PowerPoint presentation or the PDF file in our Moodle class. After that, you can go back to the video presentation. Okay, the next lesson here is predicting missing information. Try to predict what the answers might be. This will focus your mind on what to listen out for in the recording. So you have to try to guess. What is it actually looking for? Maybe you want to check the part of speech. Is it asking for a noun, a verb, an adjective? Or what kind of word is it looking for? Is it asking for a name? Is it asking for age? Is it asking for address? So you have to try to think. All right, so occasionally you'll be able to predict the actual word, but mostly it's one or more of these things. So for example, like what I mentioned earlier, what type of information do you think you need to write on that blank? Is it a surname? Is it the name of place? Is it asking for a phone number or a date or maybe a price, etc.? Now, you may also want to guess the type of word. So, in grammar, you already discussed these nouns, adjectives, and verbs. All right, so please try to do this practice. Predict the type of answer for each blank. You may pause this video while you are writing down your answers and then proceed to the next slide or the next page to check your answers. Here are the possible answers for the previous activity. Okay, so again, I have here some practice exercises for spelling. To answer these, please download the files that are uploaded in our Moodle classroom. You have their PDF file or PowerPoint presentation for you to be able to click on these links. All right, so these are the study skills that you may want to have when you are studying IELTS. Make sure that you take note of your objectives for IELTS. So you may want to take note of what score do you want to achieve. Do you want band 4, band 5, band 6, band 7? It's really up to you. Next, what scores you already have. So if you have taken IELTS before, what score do you want to have now, and your strengths and weaknesses in each skill. All right, so maybe you want to take note, what are you good at and what things do you need to improve on for each skills for IELTS. All right. You may also want to consider how many hours a week you plan to spend practicing and studying. Do you want to study 2 hours a week? You want to study 5 hours a week? It's really up to you. And what do you plan to do outside of class to improve your level? Are you going to study more on your own? Are you going to sit down with friends or discuss with friends to study IELTS? So it is actually your choice. All right, these are the references that I used to prepare these PowerPoint slides. Foundation IELTS Masterclass book. You may also want to visit the following websites: superstudy.club and IELTS-simon.com. And again, you may also visit my website, teacherdonna.tk. Thank you so much and have a good day.